Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly tarot readings. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead, keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements, see if you have messages there, and if you've been thinking about getting a personal reading, have a look at the description below. I am offering a promotion until the end of summer. So if you've been thinking about getting a reading, it's a great time to do that. All right, Sagittarius, let's see what messages we have. What is the current energy around Sagittarius for the week ahead? The deck is very funny in my hands. Hang on. There we go. Ooh. There's some hesitation here, Sag. What's going on? Okay, that's funny. As I say hesitation, we see the Judgment card come out with the Seven of Pentacles. So there is some hesitation here, Sagittarius. Should you stay or should you go? Right? What is the direction that you think you want to go in? And what are you realizing but maybe denying to yourself, Sagittarius? It feels like Sagittarius may be realizing something but not fully integrating it right now because it means they have to make a choice. And that choice might take you in a very different direction. And that new direction is almost something that you have the seeds for it, but you don't have the experience that you have. Especially you have a lot of experience doing something else that you've been doing for a long time. It feels like you've been working on or developing something. And now it's like you got this realization that you may not be fully acknowledging or integrating right now because it involves change. It involves something shifting in your direction and in your path. And you may not be feeling ready or feeling willing or feeling confident. You know, let's see. What is the obstacle here for Sagittarius? What's causing the hesitation? I like it. Things are coming out in twos. So there's the new idea, further expressed in the Ace of Swords, but the King of Cups in reverse. So it's an emotional obstacle for you. There may be something that, you know, is coming through as a new idea. You're not fully acknowledging it. You're not fully choosing it. You're sort of suppressing it in some ways. And it feels like seeing the King of Cups here says to me that you're having an emotional reaction to something. You know, the first thing coming to mind for me intuitively is that you don't feel like you're worth it, or you don't feel like, you know, it's like a self-worth thing. It feels like, it almost feels like there's a part of you that is denying this opportunity for yourself because of the way you feel and think about yourself is maybe not in alignment right now, but it must be in alignment because this has come forward as an opportunity for you. But you might be sort of feeling triggered into a place where you're withdrawing from something because, again, I feel like it has to do with some self-worth, self-value. It may be that there's a part of you that feels like it won't work for you, or there's self-doubt, you know, where you're denying yourself an experience because you don't feel worthy of it, or you don't believe you're worthy of it, or you don't sort of think about yourself in that way. So even though the inspiration is here and the sort of recognition that something may be possible, it's almost like you're denying it to yourself because of self-doubt and because of this sort of feeling that says, well, that'll never work for me. Ace of Wands in reverse, which is sort of you giving the thumbs down to the universe saying, that'll never work for us. That won't work for me. You know, I don't have what it takes to do that. I don't know anything about that, or I don't have any experience doing that. And I say that because of that Seven of Pentacles. But what's to say you can't acquire that experience, Sag? What's to say you can't learn more about that opportunity? What's to say that you won't be naturally good at it? Perhaps you have a natural skill set for it that you haven't tapped into because of some self-doubt and some limited beliefs about yourself. Very interesting. Let's see what's top of mind here for Sagittarius. Stuck, not moving forward. So there may be this sort of limited belief in your conscious mind that says, I can't, or I won't know how, I can't do something. It's interesting. It feels like you're sort of denying something to yourself that's kind of coming at a time where you might be feeling a little bit like stagnated, or like what you're doing right now isn't the full expression of what your potential is, and you're limiting yourself. You're not moving as quickly or at all in some cases towards a goal or an idea or an inspiration, and it feels like you're sort of denying it to yourself because it feels like self-doubt, self-worth, self-value, like you don't think you have what it takes. Let's see what's at the root of this. Yeah, it's not empowered, right? 9 of Pentacles in reverse says, I can't. I won't know how. I don't know. I'm just going to stay here where in my comfort zone. Even though I'm stagnating and I'm not moving forward, I think maybe I'll just hang out here because at least I get this life. I know how to do this. You know what I mean? It's really limiting yourself here a little bit. 9 of Pentacles in reverse, to me, is a time where we have all of this potential, but we don't see it in ourselves. Other people see it. I feel other people see it in you, but you don't see it in yourself. There may be this sort of overemphasis right now on finances. Like you may be saying to yourself, well, that's all fine and good, but I don't have the money to do it. Or that won't make enough money for me. I need to keep doing this because I have to pay the bills. You know what I mean? And it's almost like you might be seeing things from a very limited perspective when it comes to yourself and your abilities and your opportunities or your potential. The possibilities that truly exist seem to be larger than what you think. And your value, your worth, seems to be smaller than what you think, or limited in a way that seems not true. It feels like you're having an inner battle with yourself right now, and your higher self is like, come on, let's do this. And your lower self is like, I can't. I won't know how. It won't work. It won't be successful. We won't make money doing that. And it's interesting. There's almost a part of me that thinks that your higher self is maybe even saying, let's take a break. Let's try something that's fun. And you're like, no. You know what I mean? I have to keep working. You may be overly focused on money right now because you don't think you have enough, or you don't think that there's the ability for you to do things in a different way and still make money, and maybe make even more money than you're used to making. Feels limited, Sagittarius. Let's see here. Past energy. Ooh, that went flying. 7 of Wands in reverse. So the past energy, you may have had some past sort of patterns of comparing yourself to other people, and that might be why you're feeling like you can't do something, because you're comparing yourself to people. And when we do that, we end up in a state of illusion, because comparisons either leave you thinking you're better than someone or you're not as good as someone. And both are illusions, because essentially, you're the main character in your movie. So the only person you should be comparing yourself to ever is yourself. Past version of yourself. You can look at that and sort of be like, oh, look how much I've grown, or look how I'm standing the same, or look how, look at me today, look at me yesterday. But even in that light, don't be too critical, right? Because past you had lots of reasons for doing and choosing the things that they did, right? That doesn't mean that current you has to make those same choices. You have the ability to choose whatever you want. But it feels like in the past, you may have developed some patterns of comparing yourself to others or feeling really defensive and guarded as a result. And that has carried into the current with that Nine of Pentacles there. That remains. So, it's interesting. It can start so innocent, right? You can see something on social media and go, oh, wow, they're really good at that. And then slowly it can be like, wow, they're really better than me. And then later it can get even more sort of lower vibe where you're like, well, I'm not even going to bother because look, how can I stand next to this? You can stand next to it tall, and everyone has a right to express themselves. And sometimes I think that we misunderstand other people's efforts when we compare ourselves to them instead of seeing that as evidence of the possibilities that exist. Like when you see someone doing something similar to something you're doing and they're very successful at it, and you like looking and seeing how they do things, instead of that making you feel small, let that encourage you to say, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. And if they can reach that kind of success, that's proof that this can be successful for me too. Yeah, let's go. Let's hit the ground running because I've just been inspired. Instead of, I'm going to go back to bed because, man, there's no way. How am I going to get there? You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of difference is, it makes a huge difference in terms of what your action will be, depending on the perception that you have when you view someone else. The bottom of the deck is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, which can be a procrastinating energy. And I always believe that procrastination is less about being lazy, which it can get labeled as, and more about self-worth and more about how we see ourselves and how much value we see that we have. Because ultimately, sometimes we procrastinate on things that mean a lot to us because we just don't feel like we can meet that challenge or that we can achieve whatever that's asking of us. And that in and of itself is a bigger learning opportunity than just sort of saying, oh, they're lazy. They're not lazy. They may be having an internal struggle with something. Let's see what the upcoming energy is here. Page of Pentacles in reverse. Denying yourself a new beginning, Sagittarius. Even coming into the future energy, you see that potential and you walk on by. You see the opportunity and you think, well, that won't work for me. And you just walk on by. And so, the Page of Pentacles in reverse is interesting because it really is not seeing something. It's missing a sign. You're missing a sign trying to point to something here. And it could be that you're not seeing it because of, again, there's this idea of procrastination because of not committing to something, because we don't necessarily trust that we can do it. There's self-doubt, so there's hesitation. And then we end up seeing a sign and missing it completely, or we don't even see it. We just go right on by because we're so focused on our own limitations that we don't see things that are guiding us towards opportunity and growth, development, and expansion. Let's see how Sagittarius feels about themselves right now. How does Sag see themselves right now? Five of Pentacles in reverse. So you're overly focused on losses, but seeing it in reverse tells me that there is a part of you thinking about how to turn it around. And there's a sign right there, right here. It's trying to guide you to turn it around in a way that's pushing you outside of the parameters of your comfort zone, granted, but it's a way out. It gets the wheels moving again, without you comparing your wheels to someone else's wheels. Oh, their wheels are faster. Their wheels aren't faster. They're wheels. The fastness comes from whatever's driving the wheels, not from the wheels themselves. The wheels all move the same. But depending on the motor you have, depending on the will, the thing that moves the chariot is the will of the chariot driver. You know what I mean? And so it's very interesting. So as you're looking at your losses, Try to focus on solutions. Try to focus on potential, possibilities, turning around from setbacks with new opportunities, new ways of doing things, a new path ahead. Instead of blaming the situation around you, you take accountability for it and you turn things around. So that is a good sign for me. Let's see how you're coming across. What is the outward expression of Sagittarius? Seven of Cups. So other people may see you right now as having options, but having fear blocking them. So there's an element of emotional blocks here. So the new opportunities that are potentials for you are being blocked by fear right now. They're being blocked by limited beliefs, causing fear. I can't, I won't, I don't, I don't know, I can't do it. I won't know how. I don't see myself in this. It's very limited. And I think other people see that. They see it, they recognize it. It's on your energy outwardly. And so you might be attracting a lot of opportunities, but you're blocking them. You're blocking them emotionally. There's blocks here. And it feels like the emotion or the opportunities exist. They really do. And they're sending you signs. Do you see the signs? I think on some level you do, because we saw judgment there, but you're denying it. You see them, but you're denying that they would work for you. Sometimes when I talk to people, I get a list of excuses. And it's interesting. Sometimes I go one by one and address each one of those limited beliefs known as excuses. And once we sort of solve all of them, then what? Then, okay, all that's left is, are you going to do it or not? Are you afraid to try or not? Which is ultimately the barrier most of the time. Let's see, what are the hopes and fears here for Sagittarius? Okay, Knight of Swords and the Ten of Wands. Very interesting. So I think the hope here is that you will eventually be able to collect your harvest, which is the Ten of Wands. This time where it's been a journey to get to a certain point, but that you're able to collect your harvest. We see that Seven of Pentacles, which is similar in the sense that, are you going to continue to grow the same crops? Or are you going to change and diversify and start doing something else? The Ten of Wands says to me that you're hoping you're going to get to a place where you put enough effort in that you're able to actually continue to grow those crops and collect the harvest. So you want to see the outcome fulfilled. That's your hope. The fear here to me says that you're afraid you don't have what it takes to accept the ups and downs of this journey. And that you may be doubting your adaptability and you're doubting your flexibility, or that you truly don't feel adaptable or flexible at this time. Knight of Swords moves quickly towards change. When it's in reverse, it can resist change and sort of move backwards, hesitating, going, no. You know what I mean? But I think that that's your hope and your fear, is that your hope is to move forward and your fear is to stay stuck. But, from what I'm seeing in this reading, Sagittarius, the only thing keeping you stuck are your limited beliefs and your sort of emotions about yourself. How you feel about yourself, how you see yourself. It's limiting. It's limiting your action forward. Let's see what the potential outcome is here. Oh, wow, Ten of Swords. So that tells me that you may need to hit rock bottom before you decide to get up and try things in a different way. Sagittarius, sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need to hit a place of rock bottom before we're like, okay, I'll try things in a different way. It's true. Sometimes things literally have to collapse around us before we acknowledge that the way we're doing things is not optimizing our experience, and that maybe we need to try doing things in a different way. And I feel like for some of you, you already know exactly what's limiting you, but you're hanging on to it because you feel like it serves you more than it would if you let it go. It's very interesting. You know, you may have to hit that rock bottom in order to really see your full potential. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, it's an adjective to describe this journey, and it can be profound. That was the word I was looking for. It can be a very profound journey to hit rock bottom and then realize that you can get yourself out of it, that you're the only one who can climb out of it, and that it changes you. When you hit rock bottom on a certain issue and you see things for what they are, you really do see your potential in those moments. You really, really see your potential. Sorry, my cat came in and she's distracting me. You know, it's very interesting how we can see our potential sometimes once we get to a place where, you know, we've hit that rock bottom. Seeing the moon card here on the bottom of the deck. So intuitively, I think you are being guided, but you have no idea where it's taking you. You just have to be comfortable going on the journey, trusting that you're moving towards your highest good, even though you can't see how it's all going to work out yet. It's very interesting. Let's see, what's the highest guidance here for Sagittarius? Highest guidance here for Sagittarius. Surrender resentments. Isn't that interesting? Holding on to resentments only poisons you. Try to forgive others for their shortcomings and keep moving forward towards positive situations in your life. So it feels like limited beliefs and resentments. Bottom of the deck says surrender to your full power. Your life is calling you to step into your full power rather than to play it small. So if you've developed some resentments about certain things, feeling resentful that other people are reaching success and you're comparing yourself to them and thinking, how come not me? This is guiding you to realize that that is holding you back. And that in fact, you can surrender to your full power instead of comparing yourself to others or playing it too small. Letting go of those feelings of doubting yourself and comparing yourself to others, and then sort of taking steps to embolden yourself to confidence, right? To empower yourself. And it's interesting. It really feels like there's a part of this shift that you need to initiate first within. And then things sort of start to gain momentum from there. I'm going to leave it at that for you. Thank you so much, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I hope it's been helpful, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. And I'm sending you so much love and encouragement. Take care.